Hey you guys, welcome or welcome back to Our Awaken. So just a quick disclaimer, you're gonna see two versions of me in this video because I did come back to add more things to it that I felt like was really important. So don't be alarmed, even though you probably won't be alarmed. But I hope y'all enjoyed this video because I gave some really great pointers, and plus I have some other people who are gonna share their advice on what makes a great relationship. So anyways, I hope you continue watching this video. Let's roll the clips from the beginning of the other video. Everywhere we turn, we hear about toxic love, almost like you cannot get away from it no matter how much you try. The drama, the gaslighting, the walking on eggshells. Y'all, it's ghetto out here. But healthy love, the kind that feels nourishing and peaceful, that doesn't go viral as easily. But despite popular belief, it is real. And it is worth waiting for, healing for, and growing for. And the reality is, many of us haven't had the best examples of a healthy, loving relationship. And I've known people that actually told me like they don't know how to operate sometimes. And I feel like even for myself, I had to learn from observing people, and thank God for social media, because y'all, if social media was not a thing for me to be able to learn from people outside of my immediate environment, honestly, I would struggle to know what healthy love is because I have not witnessed that. So I feel like the older that I've got, the more that I understand, like, okay, I've been able to see what toxic love looks like, and also understanding that I don't want to experience toxic love. I want to experience healthy love. And for one, it took for me to experience that within myself so that I'm able to understand what that looks like when interacting with people. So I'm no different than anyone who's probably watching this video who hasn't had the best examples of a healthy love. So that's why I'm making this video, because I need to support some love back into this world, because it's giving very loveless and I just don't like it. And I am a person, I believe in love. I believe in fairy tales. I believe in the magicalness of love, okay? I will never not believe in love, no matter how much chaotic love we are seeing in the media every single damn day. I'm just tired of it. Honestly, I don't even want to be on social media for that reason, because I'm like, y'all, it's so many toxic relationships out here. And then can we be real for a second? Too many people out here are dating without knowing themselves. So they're lacking self-awareness, but also they're like blindly dating, and they're not really in alignment with what they want or what they feel like they need with the person that they're in pursuit of. And it's so important that before you intertwine yourself with another person, know what you want and be clear about that with yourself. Because y'all, intentional alignment will save so much of the headache that people in society are experiencing, from back in the day to even now. Like, I feel like now it's just a little more worse, just for the simple fact that people have social media, so they in their mind think that, oh, I have all these options, when it's just like, how many of those options are really options? Like, can we be real about that as well? And I'm not saying to not have the mindset of being abundant, because if something is not working one place, know in your mind that, all right, somewhere else it's going to. But y'all know when they say, like, when you have so many options, it makes it harder for you to choose. But it's like, let's be honest, a lot of what you think is options is not really options, because it's probably not really in alignment with what you need or what makes sense for you. And what I mean by misalignment is, a lot of people are not really looking for the same things, but like, because there's this lack of communication or even understanding with self, people are just out here freestyling. Say for example, if a person is just out here looking for friends, if that's what you want, make sure you are communicating that, but also make sure that your actions are reflecting that. Or if you're a person who's not really looking for something serious, so you just want to have fun and you want to casually date, stop dating people who are intentionally looking for something more serious. And vice versa. If you are looking for something more serious or you're marriage minded, stop dating people who are not marriage minded. And of course, like, yeah, you can be like, well, if the other person knows that this is what I want, then they should be the ones to, like, you know, basically like put me off or say like, you know what, we're not looking for the same thing, let's like not do anything about it. If you are a person and you know that you want something, that is where accountability comes in. If someone is not in alignment with you, do not merge yourself with the person and then blame the person for not giving you what you want, when it's like they told you what they wanted, but you chose to go against that, and in your mind say, well, this is what I want with you. But it's like, if they don't want that, stop pursuing it. Hold yourself accountable and stop trying to change people, because that will only lead to disappointment if that person does not want what you want. Accept what they are presenting to you, and if it's not in alignment with you, then move on. And I know that can be hard when you have a genuine interest in a person, but it's so easy to get caught up in situationships, misalignments, or even emotional exhaustion. And I don't know about y'all, but nobody has time for that. Like, you should not be trying to force anything. It's like a puzzle. If the piece don't fit, it don't fit. Stop trying to force it. You forcing it is only you slowing yourself down from reaching the bigger picture. The sooner you dismiss what does not reflect your desire, the sooner you can actually align with what's meant for you. And in my personal opinion, the key things that a relationship needs for a solid foundation is mutual trust and respect. I feel like if you have those two things, of course there are other important things, but without those two things, I just feel like, how does your relationship even stand a growing chance? And some characteristics that I feel are really important to look for in a person is a kind-hearted person, an empathetic and considerate person, a trustworthy and loyal person, a respectful and respectable person, a person who is self-controlled and has discipline, a person who is reliable and keeps their word, and overall just a person who has integrity and good character. Because I just feel like when you have integrity, all those other great productive qualities fall under that category. But now let's discuss some green flags in romantic relationships. Signs that you're not with someone that just wants you, but someone who's ready for you and actually values you as a person. So a green flag is a person who is intentional. And this is coming from a person who is intentional. So for me being intentional, I would want a person who is also intentional. A person who is intentional is a person who is clear with themselves on what they want. And when someone shows up with clear intentions, it's easier for you to know where you stand. Intentionality removes the guessing game. What they say they want is reflected in exactly what they show you. So basically, how they are with you will show you their seriousness, but also their desire in reaching whatever end goal y'all have. No mixed signals, no emotional chaos. And because they're consistent, that helps you build trust and also just emotional safety in the person, but also in the relationship. And that trust and safety just naturally makes both people feel confident in investing in the relationship, because it feels secure and it doesn't feel fragile. And it just gives, I respect you, I'm not here to waste your time type of energy. And we love that, right? Yes. You should love that. And I just want to be clear, relationships that are intentional don't just happen. Like, they are nurtured. Like, you are intentional about being intentional. You get what I'm saying? You have to consciously choose to be intentional because you understand the long-term value in it. Like deeper connections, or having shared values, or even just evolving together rather than drifting apart. Because if you're gonna like not have the recipe for like keeping it together, then you're going to drift apart. So logically, you're gonna do what you need to do in order to keep the relationship going, right? Again, that's being intentional. So for one, you feel emotionally safe with them. So you don't have to perform, like you can just authentically be yourself. You can cry, you can stumble, you can dream out loud, and they still choose you without punishing your vulnerability. So next is a person who is intentional, but like before we were talking about being intentional about just a relationship, but now I'm talking about a person who is intentional about just their healing journey and just working through past wounds and traumas. And this is important because you want a person who is like self-aware enough to not project onto you, because we live in a world where like once people get hurt, they tend to shut down. And the reality is a lot of us have been disappointed or hurt in some kind of way, but it's so important to not internalize that hurt to where like you're now letting it work against you. A person who understands and heals their pain in order to alchemize their pain into wisdom is ideal, because ultimately that pain will be used for wiser decision making so that you can better navigate people and just like the world. But that pain shouldn't like cause you to like project and also just close yourself off to the right people, especially if it's unprovoked. You want to give yourself a fair shot to basically like enter a relationship as the best version of yourself that you currently are, because it's also understanding that like there's always room for improvement, but that doesn't mean that you have to be like perfect. Like there is no perfect time to do things. You get what I'm saying? So as you're like doing your best to show up as the best version of yourself, you're also choosing to like operate out of the best of intention so that you're getting the best of results in whatever relationship you decide to invest in. And this tip is not just for like relationships, but I mean this like just in life. Like when you work on yourself, you have like a clearer lens of life so that you can operate better, and I feel like just experience life better. Next is emotional availability. Like this is so important. Like correct me if I'm wrong, when you're like pursuing something romantically, the goal is to connect heart to heart, right? So if a person is emotionally closed off, how are y'all connecting, or how are y'all gonna build like a genuine bond? If a person is emotionally unavailable, that means you're not connecting with your heart. And I don't know about y'all, but nobody wanna feel like they with a rock. So without emotional availability, love can feel like it's one-sided, it can feel distant, or even just feel unstable. No matter how strong the relationship is, it's just not going to be sustainable. Being emotionally available means showing up with your heart open. So not just physically present, but emotionally present. That is what ultimately allows for space for depth and vulnerability and just real intimacy. Next, they communicate with clarity and not with confusion. So you're not stuck trying to like decode mixed signals. They say what they mean and they mean what they say, with respect and not with the intention to try to manipulate you to get their way. And communication is one of those things that I've realized humans struggle with like really bad. And again, I'm not judging, because when you really like look at the reality of the world, a lot of people struggle with these things. And it's like, it's basic human things. That's why it's just like, damn, like why we struggle so bad with just connecting with each other on like a human level. But it is literally a necessity in order for accurate understanding. And even if a person is good at reading people and they have discernment, there is but so much mental gymnastics that a person can do to try to figure out a non-communicative person. At that point, it just leaves so much gray area for assumptions and unnecessary misunderstanding. Communication is so important for understanding, for problem solving, or even knowing how to show up for a person so that they feel loved, but also you being able to communicate to them how you want them to show up in order for you to feel loved. Like logically, how does a relationship function if both parties don't understand each other? Listen, it is bound to fail if there is no mutual pull on communicating. And y'all don't even have to have the same exact form or style or even like level of communication, but genuine effort has to be a requirement, even if it's uncomfortable. Like growth comes from discomfort. That is the only form of way that y'all can really like gain understanding of how to properly show up for each other. Next, they support your individuality and your purpose. A real partner does not dim your light. In fact, they fan your flame, and they genuinely root for your growth, not because you're their partner, but just for you as your own person. So they let you spread your wings without trying to clip them, and they admire you and feel inspired by you for being able to just be you. Next, they respect your boundaries and they do not test you. One thing I'm tired of hearing people say is that, oh, people are always going to test you. I feel like when you value something, you don't do something to jeopardize you having it in your life. Like to me, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that you would intentionally create situations that you know would not work out for your person. So because they respect you and the value that you add to them, it only makes sense that they will do their best to show up in a way that shows that they want to actually keep you in their life. And a person's boundaries is what they've acknowledged is necessary in order for them to feel safe. My boundaries is there for my safety, not for you. Like it's there for you to follow if you want to be in my life, but ultimately like the boundary is set so that I can feel safe. So if you are coming and you're testing my boundaries, I feel like you're playing in my face. Boundaries are there for a reason, so let's just respect each other's boundaries. Next, they take accountability and they genuinely apologize. No blame games, no I'm sorry you feel that way. Just genuine ownership, understanding, and change behavior behind their apology. Also, working on emotional intelligence is so important for like a healthy, lasting relationship. And the unfortunate reality is like a lot of people, I feel like we're not taught how to be emotionally intelligent. A lot of people in this world is not emotionally intelligent. Like if you didn't have that privilege of being taught that at a young age, or just even in your growing phase of life, that's something that I feel like a lot of people have to like teach themselves once they reach adulthood, just because like we are around a lot of just emotionally unintelligent people. So when I say this, like it's not even coming from like a place of judgment. I'm even still learning how to be emotionally intelligent and having a level of control over myself. So emotionally intelligent partners will own their triggers, and they'll be able to sincerely apologize and just strive to grow. So accountability will replace shame and guilt and feeling you're inadequate or you're not good enough. And also, instead of snapping, shutting down, or stonewalling a person during conflict, someone with emotional intelligence will pause and they'll reflect and, like really take time to respond in the best way. And ultimately, this creates emotional safety for both people. So misunderstandings now become conversations versus unnecessary conflict. And this just allows more space for deeper intimacy and just like more trust within each other, because you guys are like approaching situations just in a more level-headed way. And without emotional intelligence, even if y'all have like strong chemistry, like the relationship, I just feel like won't be able to survive and really thrive the way that it could if it's there. Next, your nervous system feels calm around them. And contrary to like what people commonly say of like, oh, I feel butterflies around this person, I know some people say that's not like a good sign, and I can kind of agree with that, because I feel like people who you feel comfortable around, that feel good to your spirit, they actually make you feel calm, not feel like, oh my gosh, like nervous. Like, yeah, you could feel like nervous around a person, but like the dominant feeling should be like a sense of calm when you're around them. Love is not supposed to feel like chaos. It's supposed to feel like peace. So if your mind and your body feels relaxed around them, that's a good thing. Next, they make room for your inner child, and they help you to bring that out of yourself. And they're not just focused on your outer image. So they nurture you and your emotion. They ask how you're really doing. They remember what really matters to you. They allow you to be goofy without shaming you or calling you immature. And they show up with actual care and not just lustful attraction. And then for the next one, they genuinely want to resolve conflict and not just win it. In healthy love, disagreements are not about ego. They're about being empathetic, considerate, and understanding. So basically, you both want to fix the problem and not hurt each other in the process. And then finally, from a spiritual aspect, it's also about understanding that you guys are going to trigger each other in ways that like might just be like, oh my gosh, but not like in a toxic way. Like, think about it. You guys are always going to be a constant mirror being held up to each other, essentially to illuminate each other's strengths and weaknesses. And a lot of times, once those triggers are illuminated, that's when people tend to like run and end the relationship because of the discomfort, and they feel like, oh my gosh, this is not going to work, or like I don't want to deal with this, without seeing it as an opportunity to grow individually but together. And I think that's like the beautiful part about finding your person, because you guys are like growing individually, sticking out the tough times so that you guys can really enjoy the most elevated versions of each other together. And now, as a bonus, here are other people's experiences of green flags that make a great romantic relationship. So let's roll the clips.
Green flags in a relationship that you probably thought were red flags. When you feel like the relationship is boring. Now, this is specifically for my folks that are used to being in chaotic or unpredictable environments. When you're so used to the ups and downs and the unpredictability, you tend to find comfort in chaos. And that chaos gets mistaken for love or passion. So before you immediately put your walls up or escape the relationship when you feel that it's boring, ask yourself, is the relationship really boring, or is it just healthy and I'm not used to this?
5 green flags that showed me that my husband was the one while we were dating. The beginning of a dating relationship is always a little bit vulnerable because you don't know for sure where that relationship is going. However, over the course of me and my husband's dating relationship, there were definitely some signs that showed I wanted to keep this going, and eventually that showed he had the raw materials to make a great husband and lifetime partner. Number 1 was that he was not super defensive, was open to listening, and prioritized the care of our relationship. I remember the first time I brought something up to him that rubbed me the wrong way or that bothered me, and I was actually a little scared to bring it up and that it might like run him off, because a lot of us have experienced guys who get intimidated by that. But no, he constantly showed up humbly, listening, leaning in, and this showed me that I had a safe space with him to bring up hard things. Number 2 is his friend group. Oof, I would never underestimate this again. All of my husband's friends were genuinely kind, positive, caring, and fun loving people to be around, and there was never any negativity or drama. They also became our mutual friends and added to our relationship. I've definitely been in a relationship where the guy has friends who don't really care about the relationship or continue to go about life with them like they're single and doing single things, and that's not fun. So, yeah, I really do think in many cases the friendship group can inform you a lot about the person. Number three, he was clear about his intentions with the relationship. Like, he just didn't play any games. After our first date, he straight up told me he would like to see me the next day, and we saw each other the next day and had a good time. He told me a month in when he wanted to be exclusive. Through conversations, he was very honest about what he felt like a good timeline to get married eventually. Because we communicated clearly, we were always on the same page, and that just reduces a lot of anxiety about the unknown. Number four, we had similar lifestyles. I'm not here to judge anyone's lifestyle, but for me, I have a more settled lifestyle. I'm not really into the scene of going to bars and clubs and drinking and staying up till like 2 in the morning. And that's not his lifestyle either. Like, if anything, he'll be at home playing video games or at an arcade with friends, which is fine. We don't have to be doing all the same things at the same time or doing everything together, but it just helps to be on the same rhythm. And number five, he was just secure in who he is. As someone who personally is extroverted and talks to a lot of people and is public and online doing a lot of different things that I love and sharing my passion, it's really important for me to be with someone who's not intimidated by those things. But in general, as a woman, I think it's really important to be with someone who does not feel insecure about your growth or your success. To be with someone who you can fully show up as yourself with. This is the healthiest relationship I've ever been in, hence why we're married. And I think being in a healthy relationship really opened my eyes to all of the unhealthy qualities of past relationships.
Here are 5 green flags in you as a woman that men are lucky and desire. Number 1, you're high in common humanity. This means that you show others humility and so much kindness, like the waiter at the dinner table. This shows that you don't have the superiority complex where you think you're better than or less than other people. It shows that you value yourself, you're worthy, but also you value others. 2, you're true to your word, you take responsibility for yourself, and you're not waiting to be rescued like all the Disney princesses show when we're so young. You are someone who can take care of themselves and does not rely on another to do so. 3, you have no shame or numbness to the emotional spectrum. You express your feelings and feel through them. This means that you're not going to distract your nervous system from feeling uncomfortable emotions, such as being on your phone during a date. 4, you celebrate men's success rather than feel threatened by it. We can shut off a man's ability to provide for us if we feel like we're hyper-vigilant to meeting that need for ourselves and we don't open space for men to be successful with us. 5, you honour other people's space and demand respect. This means if he needs time out, you respect that, but you do ask for reassurance. Here's a bonus one. You see value beyond skills, status and appearance, and you look for traits in men that go beyond things like emotional availability, spirituality, and quality of character.
You guys asked for it, and here it is. The top 5 green flags that if your man has these, girl, you got you a good one. Number 1 is communication and listening skills. Sounds really simple, but most men struggle in this department. This is the man that when you have an issue, you speak to them, they're not defensive, they want to come to an understanding, and they will listen. This man is great at expressing himself, and even if he's not, he tries his best and makes an effort. Let's say you want your man to stop liking girls on Instagram's photos. Maybe he double tapping, too many booties on the screen, etc. You bring it up to him, and instead of arguing with you and saying it's not important, he listens, you guys communicate, and he stops liking the photos. He respects your opinion, even if he doesn't agree with it. Another big one, ladies, if he has this, you a lucky girl. Consistency and follow through. This man is about that action, honey. He's not just talking to talk. When he says he's gonna do something, it gets done. You don't have to repeat yourself. You don't have to nag. You don't have to be annoying. He gets it done. He may even get it done without you having to say it needs to get done. Sexy. And in terms of the consistency, when he does do something, he does it continuously. A good way to evaluate a man's consistency is to pay attention to his habits. Does he go to the gym when he says he's going to go? And if he does go, how often does he go? Does he see his grandmother, his mother on certain days, and does he continuously do it? Does he follow a regimen? Does he follow the things for himself that he says he's going to do for himself? Because if he can't even listen to what he needs to do for him, he is not going to be able to do it for you. Consistency is key. We've heard it a million times, but it's hard to be consistent. So if this man is consistent when it comes to you, sis, he cares about you. Number 3, feminine energy and emotions. This man does not subscribe to toxic masculinity or any of that type of rhetoric. He is his own man. He knows that tears are not a sign of weakness, and he stands 10 toes down in his own individual self. If this man wants to wear a pink shirt for the next week, he gonna wear it and he gonna look sexy as hell. If he wants to do his nails, he gonna do them. This is the really important part. He does not hide from his emotions. He does not run from his emotions. He processes them in a healthy way. This man will also be able to take care of your emotions in a healthy way. He'll be able to try to understand where you're coming from with your feelings. They're not going to be too much for him. He gets it. Número 4, kind. Being kind and being nice usually get confused. An easy way to know the difference is when you're kind, it's not performative. You're actually helping the person. For real, for real. And when you're nice, it's performative. It's an act. For example, you're broke, your card gets declined at lunch, your kind friend is going to pay for the bill. They may talk to you after like, yo, are you all right? You good? What's happening with you? They may lay into you a little bit, who knows? But they going to give you the money and take care of it. A nice person, they ain't paying for crap. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, your card declined. All this performative, but they ain't paying for it, and they ain't going to ask you if you need help. If your man is kind, he genuinely cares about others. He's invested. He's empathetic. He's loving. He wants the best for you through and through. This is a man that if you're cramping, he's going to come to you with ibuprofen, cookies, a blanket, a hug. He's kind. He really wants you to feel better. He's not just helping you because he wants you to shut up or he's annoyed. His intentions are pure. He genuinely cares. It's almost like he feels your pain and he wants you to get through it. Last but not least, he prioritizes you. This man could be working 24-hour days and you are going to hear from him, sis. He's gonna send you a text. He's gonna call you. He could leave a post-it note on the fridge that lets you know you are on his mind and he cares about you. This man does not have excuses. You know you are a priority. Everybody in his life knows you are a priority. Men always prioritize what's important to them. They can work that 24-hour day and make time to play video games if that's what's important to them. He will not be afraid to put his foot down and set boundaries if anything intrudes on you or the time that's spent with you. He's very, very sure of where you are in his life. This one is extremely important because if you start questioning if you are a priority or you start begging for attention and time, you are not a priority. Okay? If you are a priority, you will never have to question it.
This is one of the biggest green flags to look out for in a woman to consider her for a relationship. If you meet a girl in this situation, most likely she's one that is in a good headspace and worth your time. And if this video helps you, follow me on Instagram at MindsetMasterMike, DM me free PDF. I'll send you something to help change your life after a breakup, get you in a dating mindset, get fit, whatever you need. So if the girl has been single for at least 6 months or longer, 1 year, 2 years, that's a big green flag, my friend. Let me tell you why. This girl is not afraid of being alone. She is independent and she is okay with herself and who she is. If you meet a girl that has just gotten out of a relationship, you are a rebound. Do not jump into a relationship with them. Having fun is always okay as long as that's a consensual thing and everyone is honest and understands that, hey, this isn't going to go anywhere serious, but we can, enjoy each other's company. But if you're looking for a girlfriend or future wifey and this girl has been alone for a while, that means she's picky and she's independent, and that's a good thing. You don't want a clingy, needy girl who doesn't know how to live on her own. And this works the other way around too. A girl shouldn't really jump into a relationship with a guy who just got out of a relationship. He's in the same boat as I described with a girl, and basically if they're jumping right into a relationship, that means they don't know how to be alone, and that's not good. Someone who's picky and knows how to be alone, they know what they want, and that's a good thing. And they don't want to play games, so they don't enter relationships just for the hell of it. They wait, they take their time. These are big green flags to look out for. Try to meet someone like that.
Do you want to know the greenest flag when it comes to relationships? And this can be friendships, dating, even people in your family. It's people who speak life into your dreams, who see the things that you're good at and encourage you to do more of those things. I know for me, ever since I've been married, I've been so creative, and not saying my husband wasn't supportive before, but there's something so comforting, like now being married and having a husband who just speaks life into all the things that I'm so passionate about. Like, it just feels so good. And also to have like a pool of friends and a community in New York City of people who are creatives and artists and who see the things that I'm good at and just speak life into them and me daily. Like, I've never felt so seen and so motivated and so supported from the people in my life, and it just feels so good to have that in my circle. And I think if you have anybody in your life that makes you feel anything less than that, especially when it comes to like your romantic relationship or your close friends, you have to reevaluate, okay? You have to know that the people in your life should always speak life into you. They should make you feel like you can do anything you put your mind to. Like, my husband makes me feel like I can be the next president of the United States. Like, that's how motivated he makes me feel. That's how inspired he makes me feel. If you're in a relationship with anybody who makes you feel anything less than that, you need to cut ties. You need to move forward and move on and start surrounding yourself with people who are going to make you feel inspired and motivated and capable, right? Because I think people who truly love you, they're going to want to make you feel capable of the things that you love doing. So if you're not surrounding yourself with positive, supportive people who are your ultimate cheerleaders, you need to start looking for new friends. You need to start having a new partner, okay? I think it's so important to be intentional with who you surround yourself with. And for me, that is my love language. That is a green flag. People who speak life into your dreams, speak life into your talents, and encourage you to do more of them.
Hey, I've got a busy day today and I won't be able to talk much. Just wanted to let you know. Hope your day is going okay. Speak soon. Kiss. That wasn't so hard, was it? Now, if they're not doing this for you, then you're not a priority for them. Facts.
3 green flags I saw in my fiance as soon as we met. 1, he does not criticize me, ever. If that's hard for you to believe, stay right there. Stay right there. Partners don't criticize each other. And I understand that this is difficult for some people to believe because we have relationships with parents, family members, maybe even friendships in the past where criticizing each other was the norm. And even if it hurt your feelings, you would take it as, oh, well, they really care about me, so they're telling me how to be better. Except criticism and critique are one and the same. So I'm sure you'd understand if I said your boyfriend shouldn't be critiquing who you are. That hits a little bit different, don't it? Yeah. 2, I've never had to ask him to change a behavior twice. Perfect relationship does not mean that you never run into issues ever or that you're happy all day, every single day. However, if something hurts you, if something rubs you the wrong way, or you're sensitive to something, you have every right. So many women will say, well, I'm just really sensitive, so I'm wrong for having hurt feelings. But for the right man, that doesn't matter. If you had a close girlfriend, and let's say you have a particular insecurity. So if I tell my friend, I got a big forehead, please don't joke about that because it hurts my feeling. If she were to then continue making jokes about it and say, well, you're just being sensitive, you would call her a hater. You would say that's your op because even if I am sensitive, why do you continue to make jokes about it knowing that I'm sensitive about it? It should never be an issue for him to not want to do things that hurt you or bug you or just make you feel less secure in yourself or the relationship. And this kind of ties into number 3. He's quick to apologize, doesn't feel the need to be right. And maybe he has reason for doing something, maybe something was misunderstood, but the first thing he does is apologize. A lot of guys will feel the need to explain away their behavior or make you acknowledge why you were wrong to feel a certain way before they're even comfortable saying like, okay, I apologize if I hurt you, which is not an apology, by the way. Again, compare it to your girlfriend. You say, I've told you before that joke about my forehead really hurts my feelings. Like, why do you continue to make that joke? And she's telling you, like, I just forgot, but like, come on, you're being really sensitive. You know it's not that serious. You're gonna go and ask yourself, Why is it so hard for her to just say sorry?
5 green flags to look out for when you're dating a woman. Coming in at number 1, prioritizing health. If she prioritizes her health, this is self-explanatory. She's going to have better moods. She's going to be healthy. She's going to feel good. She might even encourage you to do the same thing. Just great overall quality to have in a woman. Number 2, inquires about you, is interested in you, wants to know how your day was, wants to learn more about you, wants to understand who you are as a person and a character. This sounds like a very selfless human being. Number 3, gratitude. Not only gratitude for life and the things that are happening with her, but also gratitude for you, and says thank you and appreciates the things that you do for her. And I don't mean just verbally, but also with her actions. Number 4, doesn't try to compete with you, isn't trying to be a competitive partner in the sense where she's always trying to one-up you. Now, it's okay to have light, normal competition, but not in the way where she's trying to get ahead of you to build her self-esteem. And number 5, the most important one, and before I get to that, if you have not followed this channel, do that right now so I can be here to help you through all of your dating issues. Number 5 is she handles stress maturely.
Take someone telling you their boundaries as a good sign, because that means I fool with you so much that I don't want you to do something that makes me not have you around. I have to let you know the do's and don'ts so you know how to conduct yourself when you're operating with me. I need you to know what's permissible here when you're sharing space with me. I don't want you to make a mistake that makes me not have you in my life. So here's my boundaries. I want you to know what I'm okay with and what I'm not okay with, because the not okay things might be the very things that put you on block. So here's my boundaries. You see, we don't tell those boundaries to the folks that we don't think is going to be around for the long haul. But for the folks that we want to stay here, there needs to be an establishment of what I'm okay with and what I just cannot take. I'm so down for you. I fool with you so much that I want you to know how you're going to conduct yourself when you want to be around me. It's a good sign. It's strict over here, but you're going to love it over here.
After 7 years in a long-term, pretty healthy relationship, here's a green flag that I think is important to consider when you start the dating stage. Something that I think goes understated in dating advice, and I'm not saying that this is dating advice, this is just my experience, is having a steady pace with someone, a nice balance, a symbiotic dance with them, where neither person is too eager, too attached, or too avoidant. There isn't an intense level of pressure to make a decision, to connect and attach to each other as a 100% relationship from the get-go, because you are ultimately 2 individual people who have their own lives, their own interests, their own identity, merging, coming together. And in order to do that effectively, in my opinion, again, there has to be a steady pace to it. It cannot happen all at once, and it cannot take forever either, right? There has to be a nice, gradual, slow build-up. You go into it not needing each other, right? Not needing validation, support, comfort, whatever from the other person, but instead go into it wanting each other, wanting to get to know each other, and also knowing that if it doesn't work, that's okay, and you can leave. There isn't this necessity to make it work no matter what. And so to me, the way this appears in the early stages of dating, right, like the first few meetups, the initial chatting, all that stuff, is not too much eagerness, right? And I've mentioned this in a video before and people got kind of upset at me, but truly, right, there has to be a balance, a nice flow to things, right? So too much eagerness, too much attention, too much pressure, to me is not a good way to maintain a steady balance. Now, it's important to take into consideration the way you attach to people. I'm sure we all have different attachment styles that lead to different needs and desires, and the way someone you might be interacting with attaches to people, right? That changes the balance, that changes the flow. But if you're looking to potentially create a secure attachment, which I think, no one can be perfectly secure, but I think you can incorporate those habits into your dating life. I think keeping an eye out for how somebody initially communicates, how often they try to see you, how often they spend their time on you and giving you attention. And that's not a bad thing to have attention, obviously. But I think it's important to remember, like, that person should have a life of their own, just like you have a life of your own. That you are doing things for yourself first, because you need to fill your own cup up first, and then for the other person. But if you feel like maybe they're giving too much of themselves to you initially, that can throw off the balance. And I think, again, just in my opinion, that could be a good way to notice an unstable connection forming in the beginning.
Here's a very simple relationship green flag. Like, if you exhibit this trait, you're probably going to be fine. And it goes back to a simple rule articulated by Friedrich Nietzsche, in which he writes, if you want to be in a long and lasting relationship, ask yourself one thing. Do you enjoy talking to that person? And can you imagine growing old together? And those things are interrelated because what it means is that you have to be attracted to their mind. You have to be attracted to who they are, their spirit. You have to enjoy their energy, which is to say, true love is like being in love with your best friend. Samuel Richardson once said that the happiest relationships are those that resemble friendship more than they do passionate love. As he put it, true love is like a friendship which lessens your sorrows and doubles your pleasures. And so ask yourself this, do you enjoy being friends with them?
Green flags in a relationship. Now, these people don't come often, so when they do, let's keep them. Number 1, respect. I honestly think the most horrible thing to do in a relationship is not have respect for your other person, for your other half. Because if you don't respect them, you clearly don't think about them when you're doing anything wrong. You throw them under the bus or you speak badly about them. That is what respect is. You need to be able to not even be with someone and know that they are speaking highly of you, know that they are respecting you, all of that. Number 2, support. Now, a lot of the times you can get jealous of your significant other if they are making more money than you, if they are doing better than you, if they are maybe a little bit more attractive than you and they're getting a little bit more attention. That is very toxic in a relationship, and that is a red flag. A green flag would be someone that is lifting you up and pushing you and gets excited for your wins. And number 3, of course, trust. You have to have trust in a relationship. You should give full trust to your person and your person that you're in a relationship with until they break it. Give them that. Give them the benefit of the doubt and trust them until they ruin that for you. And last but not least, fun. You want to have fun with your partner. You want to be able to be quirky and weird and laugh with them. You need to be able to have fun with them and you need to be able to be fully comfortable with them. So if you can have that fun time doing absolutely nothing and just sitting on the couch, you are with a green flag.
These are green flags to look out for in any man. Number 1, he is filled with emotional intelligence, and even when he lacks it, he recognizes it. This man will avoid you many unnecessary arguments, and he will learn how to change his ways if needed. Number 2, he has manners and speaks respectfully. I don't care how much time goes by, being nice and having manners will never go out of style. And if this man automatically, naturally just stops to be nice and respectful to other people, you're going to benefit from his kindness. Number 3, he has a good work ethic. As time goes on, it's becoming harder and harder to find a man who can appreciate the fact that he works. And a man who is happy to provide will never complain about having to do so. Number 4, he has a good relationship with his family. Now, this one can be hit or miss because having a bad relationship with your family isn't always his fault. But if he does have a good relationship with them, it indicates that he values family, and that's important. And number 5, he's teachable. Listen, we are not perfect, and we don't have everything figured out, and it's going to take us a while to get there. One of the worst traits a man can have is to be unteachable, but if he's willing to learn, he's going to make it far.
You're going to want to listen to this.
One of the biggest telltale signs that the person you're with is right for you is the simple fact that they care about how their actions make you feel. It's not that they'll never hurt your feelings, because frankly, that's impossible. But when they do, they show empathy and accountability. They want to understand your perspective, not just defend theirs. They want to listen and they want to help repair the hurt that they've intentionally or unintentionally caused. Not because they're always wrong and you're always right, but because they care about you more than their own pride.
Ladies, let's talk about how you can see this on like a first couple dates, right? You're with a man, he's going to make a stupid comment. He's going to make a joke and you're going to get offended. Don't hide it. Just say, that kind of hurt my feelings, and see how he reacts. If he gets quiet and confused, that's no good. If he says, oh, please, you're too sensitive, run for the hills. If he says, I'm so sorry, I didn't realize, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for someone who actually gives a crap when you are, feeling bad, and that they will adjust in sensitivity and compassion for what you need.
5 subtle yet important green flags of a healthy relationship. 1. Adopting each other's unique mannerisms, from endearing idiosyncrasies to specific turns of phrase. This is referred to as self-other overlap in psychology. It's a delightful phenomenon that research supports as a positive relationship sign. 2. Enjoying laid-back days with your partner, doing nothing in particular, and yet not feeling bored. The ability to cherish their company, even in quiet moments, is a significant indicator of a strong bond. 3. When out and about, you instinctively pick up items that your partner would appreciate without them needing to ask. For instance, if you surprise your partner with their favorite snack or an unexpected gift like a retro 90s band tee, it reflects a deep understanding and consideration of their likes. 4. You can share lighthearted banter about a disagreement you had the day before. Turning intense arguments into moments of connection and laughter suggests that resentment and contempt are not undermining the relationship. 5. Simply being in your partner's presence brings about a sense of calm and stability. If their mere existence anchors you, it signifies a profound level of trust and a sense of safety within the relationship. My disclaimer is that every relationship is unique, and while these indicators can be helpful in assessing a healthy relationship, it's important to remember that the absence of these signs doesn't automatically imply an unhealthy relationship. So keep that in mind.
And it's really understanding also that like we all come from like different backgrounds or just our experiences growing up. And when you guys are having conflict, is really like understanding each other without trying to fix each other, but like giving each other the space to trust that you both are accountable. Of course, like express your emotions, but like giving each other the space to be accountable to fix the parts of ourselves that we need to work on in order to make the relationship work. And also really just understanding that we all have our own flaws. Like nobody is going to be perfect, right? So it's really just kind of giving each other the space to work on that. Of course, working on the things that you feel are work withable. Like don't go against things that are just like non-negotiables for you and say like, oh, I'm gonna like deal with this. Like if you know it's something that will not work for you in a relationship, you might just have to call it quits. But I'm talking about in the sense of like really giving each other the space to evolve, but trusting that your person is going to do what it takes to also evolve, so that way you guys can continue to grow together. And also just really accepting each other's differences while trying to understand it and learning how to adapt with each other without again trying to change each other, because you never want to mold a person to be what you want them to be, but you just want them to be who they are. Of course, like with the mindset of wanting to grow in order to, you know, like just elevate, but you don't want to change a person to be something that they're not in order to be with you, unless that's something that they choose to do and they're actually going to be intentional about putting the work in to meet you at that point. So y'all, healthy love isn't loud. Sometimes it's in the quiet gestures, in the soft tone, and the way that they choose you even on the hard days. You don't have to beg for it, you don't have to force it, you don't have to chase it, because real love, it sees you, it studies you, and it meets you where you are with grace, with empathy, with consideration, with, you know, like just patience. Y'all get what I'm saying? We got to be more patient with each other, but like we also have to be accountable and self-aware, because if it comes down to like a relationship, nobody wants to feel like they're changing a person, and nobody wants to feel like the person is trying to change them. But if we're all self-aware with our flaws and our own strengths, and also with the person that you're with helping you to be that mirror to you and show you your blind spots without you having your ego up or feeling like, damn, like they're just picking at you, when that's not the case. Like when it comes to wanting a relationship to work, there are uncomfortable things that need to happen in order for you guys to really get closer. And I'm gonna be corny for a second, but the Cinderella movie, the 2021 version, her mom was basically talking about like just her relation with magic and love, right? To believe that she could do anything that she basically put her mind to, and that her heart is where the magic is. So magic isn't just about spells and wands, it's truly about believing in yourself. It's a state of mind. And and in this case believing that real love is possible. And I genuinely hope that we can all one day experience it, and I hope it was insightful and that there are some key things that you could pick up on in order to navigate your love life, or even just friendship, or just love in general, right? We should all love each other, each one teach one, and you know, yeah, treat people how you want to be treated. But thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye.